أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وسيد الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله. I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his servant, his messenger. My dear brothers and sisters and guests, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I was thinking of a subject for today's khutbah, I remembered that almost a year ago I gave a khutbah around this time, and that khutbah was because of the 27th of Rajab. Tonight is the 27th night of Rajab, and two events are to be remembered for that. The event of Al-Isra, the ulama differed on what time, but the 27th of Rajab is one of those opinions. And the other event is the reopening of Jerusalem and Palestine at the hands of Salah ad-Din. If you remember a year ago, in the khutbah I was talking about the name of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, named by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we included a little bit of calculus at that time. Aqsa, Quswa means maxima, like maybe the future of Islam will be related at its optimum to the city of Jerusalem and Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. But today, it's a different subject. Today, it was requested by a respected sister in our community. She wanted me to talk about a subject that she chose. She wanted me to remind myself and my community about a surah in the Quran, not far away from Surah Al-Isra. We'll play a little bit of simple math and see if you can guess it. It's right in the heart of the Quran. It's in the middle. So the Quran has 30 parts, not chapters. The chapter would be like a surah. A part is like a juz'ah. There are 30 juz'ah. So this surah is right in the middle. Is it juz'ah 15 or juz'ah 16? It has to be in both. So which surah is that? The other way is to take the Quran and say the Quran is about 600 pages. If I go to the middle at page 300, which surah is that? So that's the surah that I like to remind myself and my brothers and sisters about today, because a respected sister in the community asked. And I love this feeling that our members, the members of our community, can even dictate what subject of a khutbah can be, whether they are the youth or the elders in our community. The surah is Surah Al-Kahf, the chapter of the cave. And it is right after Surah Al-Isra and right before Surah Maryam. So the location of the surah is intriguing. Surah Al-Isra talks about the Masjid Al-Aqsa, talks about the future and the end of the children of Israel through the different eras of their life, the life that they were misguided, then they became guided, they became the rulers of the land, then they lost it, then they will come back, and then they will commit mischief on earth, and that will diminish them. An example, for any nation that will abuse power. That surah is talking about events around Palestine. The surah after Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Maryam, is talking about the birth of Jesus, peace be upon him. It's talking about the area of Bethlehem and Nasirah and Jerusalem. And this Surah Al-Kahf is in the middle. Is that an indication of any kind that it's related to the same land? Is it possible that even the story happened in that land? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not tell us. I'm just sharing with you as I'm thinking about the surah and preparing my talk to respond to the request of my sister. I'm thinking about that. It's possible. Then I looked at the uniqueness of Surah Al-Kahf. I looked at the number of ayat. It's 110. And I looked how many other surahs will have 110 ayahs in them. And I looked at the table of contents in the Quran, each surah, and I didn't find any. So it's the only one. I was looking forward to another surah with 110 and see if there is a relationship. Now I don't have another one. So a thought came to my mind, what if I looked at surah number 110? Of the 114, what are the chances that they are related in any shape? I looked at surah number 110 and it was Surah An-Nasr. The surah that talked about, or it was revealed right after the Prophet ﷺ opened Mecca and the victorious opening and conquering of Mecca. And after that, the nations of Arabia entered Islam, not one by one, crowds by crowds. يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. Is there a relationship between the story of the people of the cave or any other generation of believers going through what they went through, and one day, because of the number 110 and surah number 110, there will come a day of celebration and victory? Maybe. It's just a reflection that I wanted to share with my brothers and sisters. In a previous khutbah, I indicated that the names of the surah in the Quran are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah named it Surah Al-Kahf, the chapter of the cave. It could have been the chapter of Dhul Qarnayn. It could have been the chapter of Al-Khadr. There are other potential names. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala name it Al-Kahf? So I went back to the Arabic dictionary and said, what's the meaning of Kahf? Kahf, like a cave in English, the same word, Ghar or Kahf, they are an opening in the mountain, but the difference between a Ghar and a Kahf, that the Kahf is bigger and more spacious, and the Kahf is protective. So this is the surah of the spaciousness, plentifulness, and protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Could that be the theme in the surah? That's why it's named Al-Kahf. We say that this ruler is a kahf to his people. Like they run to that ruler seeking protection. We say this scholar is a kahf to the ulama. When they have an issue that they cannot solve, they go to that scholar. That kahf statement is used in Arabic to mean spaciousness in knowledge, spaciousness in giving, or strength in protection. So that should be the theme of the surah. Then I wanted to think about when was the surah revealed? Because the time of the revelation, the whole Quran was one piece even before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent as a prophet. And then Allah sent that Quran down in the night of Al-Qadr. But then he sent that portions of the Quran over 23 years during the life of the Prophet ﷺ to be received by the people on earth. But the surah was complete and the organization of the Quran was complete even before we were created. So what time did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His wisdom choose to reveal the surah to the people who are carrying the message of Islam, the Prophet ﷺ and his companions? Because that will give us a better understanding. And there isn't a specific time, but most of the ulama are saying it's around year number 5. At that time, the people of Mecca received the message, rejected the message, and they started torturing the Muslims. Not only that they don't want to believe, they don't want anyone to believe. And the torture started. Can you imagine this is the time Bilal ibn Rabah, our beloved brother, the Sahabi, is under the rock, and he is shouting, Ahadun Ahad. We can imagine Ammar ibn Yasir and his family going through the torture. We can imagine that many of the boys of the strong families were chained. And the Prophet ﷺ right after is allowing the Sahaba, if you can, run away with your faith and go to the area of Ethiopia. Go to the king there. Go to the cave there. That will protect you. The story of the people of the cave to people who are under torture, who are trying to protect their religion and run away, it's a different story than me and you sitting in an office, drinking a cup of tea and thinking, why is the story? Because the one inside the event receives it differently. Imagine the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr in the cave of Thawr during the Hijrah. And the people of Mecca are after them to capture them. And Abu Bakr is telling the Prophet ﷺ, if one of them will just look where the feet are, because he can see their feet, if they can look down, they will see us. And the Rasul ﷺ, with full confidence of the believer, he said, Abu Bakr, what do you think of two people? That Allah is their third. Allah is with us, don't worry. What kind of a lesson did Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu receive at that moment, and he survived? And he is telling the story later. You and me were listening to the story. Abu Bakr lived the story. The Sahaba who carried the message are living a similar story like the story of the people of the cave. They are listening to the story of the righteous man, known to many scholars as Al-Khadr. The Quran doesn't say that name. And Musa alayhi salam. And they ride in a ship, in a boat. And the righteous man is opening a hole in that boat. Musa alayhi salam is rejecting that. Later on, he came to understand it was for the good of the people. The man killed a little boy, and Musa was enraged, rejected that, even though he promised to be patient. And then he came to know that was good for the boy and good for the parents. Now, those Sahaba living that story at that time, if one of them was chained, maybe he's thinking, I was chained because unlike that hole in the boat, Allah wanted to save me because of this chain. He's not thinking that I'm in the prison. The mindset is different. The chapter that Allah chose to have at least 4 or 5 stories in it, examples like the study cases, to lead the ummah that is carrying the message of Islam. He chose to put it in the heart of the Quran. It cannot be just a chapter of simple stories. It has to be a chapter full of lessons. The beginning of the surah, the end of the surah will summarize the main purpose of the surah. It is a surah revealed in Mecca when the faith was to be built. It was not a surah of what's halal and what's haram. It was a surah about faith, about Allah is the only one, the only God. Associating with God is not true, not acceptable. Those who are claiming that God has a son are claiming a lie that does not fit with the truth. Those who are worshipping someone else are losers. Those on the day of judgment, وَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ وَزْنًا, they are weightless to us. The real value is in your faith, not in your belongings. The two men, the two friends, cousins, brothers, neighbors, or just people in the same town. One is given the wealth and the money. The other is given the faith. And the one who has the money is abusing that power, is claiming that he got it because he is lucky wherever he goes. He earned it. Even if there is a day of judgment, he will be better than the others because, look, I'm better today. What will prevent me from being better in the next life? The other one with full pride, with little belongings, is saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is enough for me. Allah will give me more. Allah might take this away from you. I'm warning you, don't abuse the power. The story of Dhul Qarnayn, a ruler who has the power. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala empowered him and said, إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبْ وَإِمَّا أَن تَتَّخِذَ فِيهِمْ حُسْنًا. You can punish if you want. You can treat them with justice if you want. And he chooses to treat people with justice. He chooses to give back the real power to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was a protection for him. The one who believes that everything is from Allah will be protected in this life, will be protected in the hereafter. The story is full of, the surah is full of stories as study cases for us, and I'm not going through the surah line by line to explain it, because the Prophet ﷺ said in a very known hadith to many that if you read the surah of Al-Kahf every Friday, it will enlighten your week until next Friday. If you memorize the beginning of the surah or the end of the surah, like 10 ayahs at the beginning or 10 ayahs at the end, it will protect you from the fitna and the challenge of a Dajjal, the false Messiah. So many Muslims read it every week. And many Muslims, even last week, under the rebels, in Syria, in Turkey, under the destruction, probably some of our brothers and sisters were reciting this surah because they memorized it. The impact of reciting it and reflecting on it to those people is much different than someone who is reading it just for the sake of finishing it. Some people who got out alive from under the destruction are reading it and they have a complete different connection to it because they survived but their loved ones didn't. So those people are thinking, where is the gift for me? Where is the hidden gift of Allah in what appears to be a destruction. Where is it? Surah Al-Kahf is full of those hidden gifts for those who can reflect. Does it impact me? Does it impact you in the same way? I just wanted to share those quick thoughts with my brothers and sisters. May Allah guide us to the best understanding, and may Allah guide us always to assume the best and receive the best. Ask Allah for forgiveness. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. When the Prophet ﷺ is saying, reciting the Surah of Al-Kahf will protect you, reciting the Surah of Al-Kahf will give light to you through the week until next Friday, do you think the Prophet ﷺ is thinking of reciting it or maybe putting it in a box and having a necklace around your neck? Is it like beads hanging to protect you? Or when you read the surah, when you understand the different aspects and the different lessons in the surah, then you are conscious, you are aware, you are thinking of the fitna that could come in our religion. People are torturing me or you just because you are a believer. And at that moment, if you cannot change it, if you can run away and save your faith, run away. Be like the youth of the people of the cave who ran away with their religion to protect it. They woke up and the religion was established. Be like those who ran away to Ethiopia and they came back and celebrated the conquer of Mecca with the Prophet ﷺ. There is a time for hibernation to protect you and protect your religion, and there is a time for victory and the spreading of the message. When you are reading the surah and getting those messages and you are conscious of those challenges and fitnas and tests, then when you are given the money, you try to be like the righteous man who's saying, say this is from Allah. Give away in charity rather than claiming it's all because you are so smart and you are so lucky. Because Allah can change it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us examples in our life. The example of the earthquake, some people went through it, but we all witnessed it. In a moment, you can lose everything. This life is nothing. The surah in more than one time, it says this is zina, a decoration for life. The real test is in you believing in Allah and Allah alone. And you always bring everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when you say, I want to do something, don't say it without saying, Insha'Allah, Allah, if Allah wills. Because you might not be able to. The surah is teaching us to always be truthful and to seek the truth and to go away from false information. Don't waste your time arguing about things that you don't know and nobody knows. How many people were in the cave? 3, 4, 5? Don't waste your time because Allah is saying nobody knows, just leave it alone. There is no lesson in the number. The lesson is in the story. Allah is saying, did they witness that Allah had a son? Why are they claiming something they have no knowledge of? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the end of the surah, do you want me to tell you about the real losers in this life? It's those who are doing something wrong. ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. And they believe they are on the right track. وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صَنْعًا. What a major loss. You are doing the wrong thing and you think you are doing the right thing. So you are not even seeking correction. Allah is teaching us that in power there is a fitna. In ilm and knowledge there is a fitna. And that could even be in a simple unit like a family. If the man or the woman are blessed with wealth how do they look at the other members in the family? Are they helping them or they are arrogant? How do they think about the extended family around them? How do they think about the community around them? Are they sharing and empowering, or they are arrogant in their own? You could be the scholar. You could be the one who knows a lot. Are you like Musa alayhi salam, who was a prophet? Allah spoke to him. He reached levels that many people didn't even think of reaching. And yet he has a desire for continuous education. And he was seeking more knowledge from the righteous man that Allah told him about. And he was so humble. But he was following principles that he knows. That you cannot just destroy a boat just like that. Based on his knowledge, this is a munkar. I need to stand up against it. You cannot just kill a little boy. That was not acceptable. He was a follower, a learner, but not blindly. And there is a story there. There is humbleness, but you have to stick to principles that you believe in. In no way I can encompass all of the lessons. But I hope I triggered in my brothers and sisters that the next time you read Surah Al-Kahf, on a Friday or any other day, that this is a chapter in the middle of the Quran, very unique, has unique stories that are not mentioned in any other surah in the Quran. There is no other surah that has the story of Musa with the righteous man, Al-Khadr. And in this surah, even the children of Israel, the followers of Musa, were not mentioned. It's only about the student and the teacher. No other surah is talking about Dhul Qarnayn, that powerful man in the history of humanity who was guided and empowered. No other surah talks about the story of the young people who ran to the cave. Very unique, in the middle of the Quran, full of guidance. The beginning and the end will summarize it. It will give you protection. It will give you light. I hope the next time we read it, we think of all of the other Muslims around the world and how they see themselves in the story. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم أعن إخواننا المسلمين في كل مكان اللهم أعن الناس الذين يصارعون في أحداث سوريا وتركيا اللهم أعنهم فيما هم فيه وأرشد قلوبهم وعقولهم لتقوية دينهم وتثبيته يا رب العالمين اللهم أعنا أن نتعلم الدروس وأن نعاون الناس فيما نستطيع آمين وأقم الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله يا الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. The Khatib was Brother Hazim Jabba. Please make dua for him. Also, please donate for the masjid. We're in desperate case right now. We need to have you donate as much as you can. Also, the collection for the earthquake in Turkey and Syria boxes are there. So please donate as much as you can. Jazakumullah khair. Full-time Islamic school, and many people talk about full-time Islamic school. This is it. Basically, it will be tonight. There will be a potluck, and Sister Ghada Adhami will be the speaker about the plans. So she's working on this. Please attend if you have children. This is even more important. February 25th, that's Saturday. Sisters will be meeting in the potluck. Please try to attend. It's all on the CIMIC L. Halaqah for middle school boys is on Monday after Maghrib, and Halaqah for high school boys will be on Tuesday after Maghrib. Contact Sister Ruha Al-Hiti for more information. Please renew your CIMIC membership online or see Brother Tanwir. CIMIC's treasurer report and board meeting minutes are posted in the bulletin board next to the office. Today's food is lunch. The lunch today is pizza. So, inshallah, you'll enjoy it. Assalamu alaikum.
هو جاهز للخطبة إن شاء الله. جزاك الله خير. ما شاء الله بارك الله. Thank you so much for.
I'm very. I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for the cup as well. How are you doing? Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for the call as well. And brothers and sisters came over and they
صحيح. كيف هذه الحمد لله. إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله ولا شاركون إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. بارك الله فيك. نعم 15 دقيقة.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. I bear witness that there is no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his servant and messenger. My dear brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was almost a year ago, around this time, I gave a khutbah from this place, and it was related to the 27th night of Rajab, the month of Rajab, the lunar month. Today is the 26th day, so tonight, this coming night, will be the 27th. If you remember in that talk, I reminded myself and my community of two major events that happened in Rajab, and especially on the 27th day and in the 27th night. The trip and the journey of Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj for the Prophet ﷺ, according to some of the Muslim scholars, happened on the 27th night. And the recapturing of Jerusalem and Palestine from the occupying forces of the Crusaders at that time, at the hands of the Muslim leader Salah ad-Din, also happened on the 27th day of Rajab. If you remember at that time, a year ago in the khutbah, I talked about the name of Al-Aqsa Mosque, Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, as a name given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that name, if we take it in light of a little bit of math and calculus, the word Aqsa and Quswa means extreme or extrema. It's like the maximum value and the minimum value on a curve. I say that just to remind my brothers and sisters of that talk, but that's not the main subject of the khutbah today. The khutbah today was triggered by a request from a respected sister in our community. she wanted me to remind myself and my community about a beloved surah in the Quran, and she said, I would like to see some lights shed on the surah. So to that sister, I prepared my talk. And I love the fact that in our community, a young man or woman, a very mature brother or sister, can come to an imam and request a khutbah. You have the power to do that, and I love the fact that our community members are spoiled, and this is their house, this is their masjid. It's not dictated on them. Now, what surah was it? I'm not going to give you the answer quickly, so let's do a little bit of simple math and figure out if you can guess it. The surah is in the heart of the Quran. It's right in the middle. And we know that the Quran has 114 chapters or surahs, but it's also divided into 30 parts. We call them ajza. So right in the middle, we have 15 juz' before, 15 juz' after. Which surah is right in the 15th and the 16th ajza of the Quran? That's the surah. The other way, if we take the Quran, it's about 600 pages, and if you go to page number 300 and you open it up, that will be the surah. If you guessed it, that's Surah Al-Kahf, the surah or the chapter of the people of the cave. In a previous khutbah also, I reminded myself and my community that the names of the surah are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not by the scholars. Allah named it Surah Al-Kahf. Allah could have named it Surah Dhul Qarnayn. That's another story in the surah. Allah could have called it Surah Al-Khadr, the story of Al-Khadr or the righteous man with Musa alayhi salam. But he called it Surah Al-Kahf. Why? We talked in a previous speech that the names have meanings, and the names are more likely to be adjectives. So we call somebody the generous because he is generous. We call him the powerful because he is powerful. And doesn't mean that was the name he or she were born with. So Al-Kahf, I went back to the dictionary and I asked, what's the meaning of Kahf? There is the Ghar, and there is Maghara, and there is Kahf in the Lugha, in the language. And the Kahf is an opening in the mountain, but it has two special features. The Kahf is spacious. If it's a small opening, we call it Ghar. If it's a bigger opening, then it's a Kahf. And the Kahf is also protective. So it has to have the protection and the spaciousness. And in the language, we use the statement of saying, this ruler or this leader is a Kahf to his followers, meaning they go seeking protection when they are with him. This scholar in the Islam is a Kahf to the ulama. That means when there is a big issue that the regular ulama cannot figure it out, they run to this Kahf, the very spacious in his knowledge, the very protective of the principles, and he will help them. So a Kahf is a protective, spacious place or person or organization. Now think of that as we go through the themes of the stories of Surah Al-Kahf. And I do not intend to go through the stories explaining them, because the Prophet ﷺ encouraged the Muslims, according to certain narrations, to read Surah Al-Kahf every week. And he said in some narrations, if you read it, then it will give you light from this week to the next week. And if you read or if you memorize the beginning of the surah, the first 10 ayat or the last 10 ayat, then it will protect you from the trial and the fitna of a Dajjal, where the Dajjal is the false Messiah, the false messages and influences in our lives. So what's special about those stories? There are 5 stories in the surah. There is the story of the people of the cave, the young people who ran away from their community because they were about to be tortured and killed. So they ran seeking refuge. There is the story of Adam and Iblis and the initial creation. There is the story of 2 men. One is blessed with wealth, one is blessed with faith. And the one who was blessed with faith, with wealth was bragging about it. I'm lucky in this life, even if there is a hereafter, I will always be lucky. Look at me, I'm always lucky. The other one is saying, just humble. Return the rights to the one who blessed you with. Have faith and say, if Allah is willing. Then there is the story of Musa alayhi salam with the righteous man. Musa is the one who Allah spoke to. He reached levels in prophethood and messengerhood that many others didn't. And yet he was seeking more knowledge, continuous education, and he approached the righteous man humbly, asking if he can be allowed to follow him and learn from him. And then there is the story of Dhul-Qarnayn, the powerful man. Powerful, Allah empowered him. And Allah gave him a choice. You can punish or you can rule with justice. And he said, I will rule with justice. There are themes of fitness in life in this surah. You can be tested and facing a challenge in the fitna, tested in your religion. Can you protect it? If you can't, can you hibernate and go and hide? Protect yourself and protect your dawah until there is a time when it can flourish without killing it. There is the test and the fitna of wealth. If you have wealth, what would you do? Are you going to say Alhamdulillah and do the right things and share it with the others? Or you are going to brag about it and forget the one who blessed you with? There is the fitna of knowledge. If you are knowledgeable, are you going to say, I'm not going to sit with just anyone. I need people in my rank to sit with. I need the special mastermind group of my level to sit with. Or are you going to share with anyone who comes to you humbly seeking? Are you the student or are you the teacher? There is something we can learn from anyone. Do we have that mentality? Are we empowered? Like Dhul-Qarnayn, I think every one of us is empowered somehow. Even in your own family, you have a power over the spouse, the man or the woman, or the children. Or in your organization, you might be the employee, you might be the employer. Are you a fair-minded, powerful person? Or you are someone who is using roughness and toughness to prove to himself or to herself that this is how I show my power? I wanted to look at the surah in terms of how many ayahs in it. And it is 110 ayat. Then I looked at the rest of the surahs in the Quran. Is there any other surah with 110? And maybe there is a relationship. And I didn't find any. It's the only surah with 110. It's also the only surah that mentions the story of Dhul-Qarnayn. It's the only surah that's mentioned the story of the people of the cave. It's the only surah that is mentioning the story of Musa alayhi salam alone, without the people of Israel, as a student of knowledge, not as the prophet leading his people. It was unique, but 110, and I was hoping for another surah of 110, I didn't find. So a thought came to my mind, we have 114 surahs in the Quran, what about surah number 110? And that was the surah of An-Nasr. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. So one surah is talking about if you are tortured, hibernate and escape, hide. And one surah is saying, one day you will be powerful enough to open and conquer Mecca, to open and conquer Jerusalem, to open and conquer Baghdad to open and conquer any city you can imagine. One is talking about if you are weak and you cannot protect yourself, run and hide and ask Allah to protect you. And one is talking about the end result of celebration and victory. Is that the real reason this is number 110 and this is 110 ayat? No. That is only a reflection I am sharing with my brothers and sisters. But it's only a reflection. The surah is full of examples, study cases. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching the believers through the stories. وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا, and tell them the example of the life, like a water coming from the sky, and then the plants are flourishing, and then it becomes dry, and then everything goes. All of this is nothing but zina and decoration for this life, and in a moment, Allah is able to do anything. In a moment, it can go away. Like the gardens of that man who was not thankful. In fact, we witnessed just within the last 2 weeks, many of our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria going through the destruction in the earthquake. We saw how in a moment life changed for them. A couple of years ago, the whole world went through the corona and the restrictions, and things changed. Things could change in a moment. Allah has His own soldiers. Don't trust this life and its decorations. The surah is full of examples of saying, only trust in your faith. Only have the refuge and your cave in your faith. If that is protected, everything else will be protected. The surah was revealed at a certain time in the history of the Muslims. And if you can imagine yourself at the time of revelation, you might have a better understanding of its impacts on your life as a Muslim. The scholars are not pinpointing when it was revealed, but most of the scholars are saying it was revealed around year number 5 of prophethood. So it's a Meccan era. The Muslims are still in Mecca. There is no power for Islam and Muslims in Medina yet. And the kuffar of Mecca rejected Islam. Not only rejected Islam, they don't want anybody to be Muslim anymore. If you become a Muslim, they want to torture you. So the Muslims were under torture. Can you imagine our beloved brother Bilal ibn Rabah under the rock in the heat in the desert, and despite all of this, he is holding on his faith and saying, Ahadun Ahad. You can imagine the family of Yasir, Ammar ibn Yasir, and what happened to them. And then the Prophet ﷺ is telling the Muslimin, if you can, take some belongings with you and run away and go to a king in Ethiopia, to the Najashi. Seek some help and go to that cave. Can you imagine the Muslims who went to Ethiopia through the desert? Their footsteps can be followed. The people of Mecca are following them to capture them, bringing them back or kill them. Can you imagine the feelings of the Muslims who stayed in Mecca praying for those who left not to be captured? Or those who are running away are asking, Ya Allah, bring some wind and let the sand cover our footsteps. And they reached, and they were safe for a while in the cave of Ethiopia with the Najashi, until Islam became established and powerful and they came back to Medina. What is the meaning of the story to those people? It just came. And they are reading it and memorizing it and reciting it. And the Quran wasn't full yet at that time. So you can imagine Everybody is memorizing because they are thirsty to memorize something. The feeling for them is much different than me and you reciting the surah at our seat, trying to finish it quickly so that we can go to the Jum'ah prayer or go to do shopping. We just want to finish it for the sake of finishing it. It's touching them in a different way. Can you imagine Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave when the kuffar were outside during the hijrah time? And Abu Bakr is telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if one of them will just bow down and look at us where the feet are, he will see us. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is calming his companion and saying, Ya Abu Bakr, what do you think of two people? Allah is the third one with them. Don't worry. And they survived it. And Abu Bakr wasn't captured, wasn't killed. That lesson to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu who lived the event is much different than the lesson to me and to you. Now you can have a better feeling if you can close your eyes and imagine if you were Abu Bakr. You have a deeper understanding that way. During the earthquake in the last 2 weeks, many of our Muslim brothers and sisters, especially last week, they were still survivors, not recovered yet. They are still alive, and maybe many of them memorized Surah Al-Kahf, and they were reciting it on Friday, if they know it's a Friday. Because once you are in a different universe, you lose touch of what's today. But if they knew that this is a Friday and they are reciting the surah and the protection and the stories in the surah, I am sure their reflection and understanding was different. Their faith strengthened was different. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is revealing the surah not just for that generation, not for those under distress and destruction, for everyone, because everyone can relate, wherever they are, to a story in the surah. Ask Allah for forgiveness. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. My dear brothers and sisters, as we go in our life, as we study Islam, as we teach what we study or what we learn, as we go through life, we get married, we have children, some of our loved ones will die, some of them will get married, some of them will be celebrated, some of them are born with challenges, some of us might not have children at all, some of us will open businesses, and Allah will open the risk for us, and some of us will open businesses and we are challenged and we might lose. So many scenarios. As we go through that, do we think maybe my case is like the case of the people of the boat who took Musa and the righteous man, and Allah sent somebody to drill a hole in our boat so that it will be safe? Do we expect the best? Or do we say we are always unlucky? Allah doesn't care about this. Hasha lillah. Do we think if Allah blessed us with a child, that this is a blessing, like the Jannah of the man who was blessed, and now we need to nurture this child and teach this child and say Alhamdulillah like the beginning of the surah? Or do we say we have a child, our lineage will continue, we are eternal, if I didn't deserve it, I wouldn't get a child? What do we say? If you are empowered with knowledge, do you think you are the righteous man looking for great students like Musa alayhi salam? Or you think you are Musa who was so much blessed and yet seeking more knowledge? Do you carry the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a da'wah, as a faith, as a mission? and expect that you might be challenged and you are always ready. At some times, I'll go to my cave, protect myself and my followers and my message, and sometimes I'll be in the conquering of Mecca or whatever city in my life I am in. Where are you in the chapter of Al-Kahf? Which surah is touching you? Are you the powerful father, the powerful mother, the powerful elder son or daughter who are using their power justly, like Dhul-Qarnayn? Are you the employer who cares about his employees? Are you the community member who's always giving and acting and praying for everybody in the cave to be saved? Are you the one who is asking someone to go to the city and seek some food? Or you are the one going to the city to seek the food for the children or the youth in the cave? And I apologize if I did not go through the stories one by one. I'm assuming my beloved community is aware of the surah. And if you are not, it is worth it to go back and read this surah that Allah strategically positioned it in the heart of the Quran, in the middle of it, filled it with study cases. Each one is teaching us some lessons. And maybe the next time you read it, you will remember that sister who asked for the subject. You will remember this khutbah, and you will read it in a different light. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. Ya Allah, strengthen the faith of our brothers and sisters who are going through difficulties. And Ya Allah, make them see the blessings disguised in the challenges. Ya Allah, keep them on the right path, protect their religion, and keep us all fruitful and giving to our community and to the humanity. Ameen. Wa aqim as-salah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala as-salah, hayya ala al-falah. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
So, please make sure the lines are straight and the lines are complete at their ends, especially the last few rows. Jazakumullah khair. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا. وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. I have some announcements. Our speaker today was Brother Hassan Jabir. Please donate to the masjid in any way possible. You can use the Venmo accounts at CIMIC, or you can look for the QR code that's posted around the masjid. Please make dua for the people who are donating for the masjid. Masjid is collecting donations for the earthquake's victims. Please donate generously. I think the box is over by the door. We are working on fixing the sound system and the loose stones on the east entrance. For information about full-time Islamic school, there is a meeting tonight at 6:30. Please come to the family night's potluck. Dr. Ada Adhami will be presenting the plans. Please bring a dish to share. On Saturday, February 25th at 5 o'clock, there is a sisters meet and greet potluck. Come to meet other sisters in the community and learn about what services they have to offer. Please come in and join them and bring a dish to share. On Friday, March 3rd at 6:30, there is a prepare for Ramadan with our family night potluck. Sheikh Faizan Mumtaz from Chicago is going to deliver a talk titled Taqwa, the missing ingredient. Please bring a dish to share. On Saturday, March 4th at 9:30 a.m., there's a Sisters Open Mic Quran recital hosted by Hafsa Quran Society. All sisters are invited to participate. Please visit bit.ly/hearts-delight or contact Sister Smira for more information. It's a halaqah for the middle school boys, Mondays after Maghrib. Halaqah for high school boys is on Tuesdays after Maghrib. Please contact Sister Roa at ROAA at maelaw.net. Please renew your CIMIC membership. You can renew online or see Brother Tanwir. The CIMIC Treasurer Report and board meeting minutes are posted by the office. And if there's any food left, lunch was pizza, $7 donation. Jazakallah.
say, okay, you replace these speakers with something better, maybe not, I don't know. Speaker here. Yeah, let's do it. You're a lot less about it. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
I'll go in there.
Is it on? Is it on yet? Can you hear me? Is it on? Can you hear me? Oh, no. Is this loud enough in there?
Yes, it's clear.
All right.
You want to see it too?
Oh, I believe you. I'm sure my ears are better than yours.
Okay, so that's, it seems like it's loud enough.
What about in the back area? Is it loud enough back there?
Since there's nobody here,
Right.
it's easier to say this is good.
Of course.
Talk some more.
All right. How is it back there?
You're clear.
Okay. Yeah. So this sound. This sound. That's from blowing on the mic.
Yeah, I can hear that.
And people do that unintentionally because, they have to breathe.
When they breathe, yeah.
I would think that it might be worthwhile to try and get a different lapel mic,
Okay.
but I don't know a whole lot about the options for microphones. I would just think that there's probably
Yeah.
options that
Of
are...
course, this one, and this one, and right here, some sisters complain when they can't not hear anything over here, inside, in this section. In this section.
Yeah.
They say, well, go ahead, talk to me.
Oh, I just turned it off. I'll turn it back on.
Okay.
All right, is it on yet? Is it on yet? Come on now. Not yet? Are we on now? Is it on?
Yeah, I think,
I don't think it's
can
on
hear
yet.
it here.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Is that loud enough? I'm pretty close to this mic. I don't know that the speakers are already standing this close. So if they are if they're further from the mic, this may not be loud enough. I don't know. Is it
It's
good?
not very loud, especially when you got a lot of people.
What we might be best to do is to just have somebody for each Jummah who's sort of responsible of maintaining the sound levels.
Well, maybe we need a sound measuring device to kind of
Well,
balance.
we could do that
balance
from
everything.
this side, but that would definitely not be something this system can do.
And then this is used. And down in there, it's over. Yeah, it is. Is this open?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's open.
There's so many adjustments there.
Right. So I looked at this earlier, and I can tell you what all of these knobs do. But for the most part, most of the knobs just need to be right in the middle. Because there's a lot of filters which make it so low frequency
Right.
or high frequency, so high pitch or low pitch sounds
Right.
are amplified or reduced, which can help. If you really know what you're doing, they can help you make the sound that you want. But generally, just the center settings is probably
Yeah.
fine for what we're doing, because we're just trying to amplify people's
Right.
voices. There are a couple volume controls in there. There's a balance control that controls left versus right.
Right.
And then this one down here, I know does does it for the outside speaker, like all the way outside speakers.
Right.
Um,
And the outside speakers, we want to shut them off from inside.
right. So we can do that with this one. I think it's has always just been off recently.
Yeah.
This channel 5
We used to pray outside because of the
for COVID.
COVID.
But if you wanted to do like I don't know, if you want the outside speakers to broadcast the adhan or something like
Yeah,
that.
or sometimes if we pray, Eid prayer outside as well as inside, so that will come in.
Right, so this was already set up to do that. It's just so far we
Yeah.
just always have it off. I mean, it should do it if we just turn the power on.
Right.
So in terms of like what causes a lot of the sound problems, it turns back on. Should just leave it on and stuff.
Yeah, he's coming soon.
So when give me a minute.
There.
So when people mess with these,
Yeah.
messing with the wires, it's picking up the noise of the wires, and there should be ways you can deal with that, because you could just filter that, and it should deal with
Or
it.
have a better connections.
Well, so it's picking up the adjustment, so when the contact is moving a little bit, it's
Yeah.
picking, it makes a change in the voltage, which is how it knows what the sound is. There are physical and digital ways that you can get rid of that. And I would think even the system we have may have the ability to do that. I just don't know exactly
Yeah.
how to do
In
it.
order to get into here, we normally flip this over to get to all the, I mean, if we want to take stuff out of there.
I think if we can, we probably want to avoid having everything
Yeah.
the way it's hard to work.
Well, where do we put it? What other places?
We could put like a control panel.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. If the kids don't mess with it, that's the problem. You know?
Well, we
Yeah,
could
we
lock
need to,
just like
maybe
this.
we need
Build a
a
little.
gate to come in inside and to close it other than
I don't
Friday.
think a gate's gonna stop the kids.
No, I mean, here.
Yeah, I don't think a gate's gonna
Yeah,
stop.
they can climb up here. Anyway, that's the challenge.
I know in some of the churches, they don't do any of the sound control in the front. They have like a sound control booth
Somewhere else.
at the back or something
Well,
like that.
it's okay. I mean, that idea is okay. I mean, that was way back when we built this place, we had no place to put it. And, we can put it, you know, that behind these chairs,
Yeah.
all that system can put underneath that. Right now, it's just a storage. We can put it here easily. Down here. Or we can put it down here. Right?
Yeah, somewhere that easily accessible for somebody who hasn't already.
Right.
But not something that.
But I mean, we just like in a church, you have, just like in a church, you have a,
You can take shape back.
thank you.
Okay.
And so that's the system that we have. We
Okay.
have all the controls down below,
Okay.
and this is our imam, which we call imam, or
Minister.
yeah.
Yes, or you.
So this would be the main, this is the main place that we need everybody to hear, and also behind, in the back. In the back, we always have, and during our service, people go all the way to the end. So we need the sound to be available here, as well as the classrooms, and then it is the women's lounge in here. So we have sound for the speakers here, everybody can listen, everybody. Especially when you have a group of people here. I mean, right now, if we tested, sounds okay, I can hear everything he talks about. But then, when you have 400 people here, nobody can hear anything, or don't understand. The other thing is, in our case, we don't have any music.
Okay.
So the quality, as far as the quality of the musical quality is not needed.
Right.
We need the clarity of speech, and that's the main thing.
Okay.
Ideally, if we can have, I don't know, ideally it's not to use, not to have wire hanging, pulling.
Right.
You can talk from anywhere. Wireless would be ideal.
So are these working then?
Yes, they do. You want to
I'll go there, I'll sit
then test it for us.
So basically, we need one a pulpit microphone that will be main for the sermon. And we need a couple of few wireless for the kids to have the room for the
Okay.
You guys ready? All right, so this is what it sounds like right now. I could keep talking if you guys just want to keep walking around.
Testing, okay.
So, tell me if I'm becoming too annoying. Yeah. So, this is sound, I suppose. Then, Brother Walid, is there anything you want me to tell a story about?
You can tell us a story now.
All right.
He's a student of the university.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to hear about my research?
Yeah. He's volunteering for.
Yeah. I do work with ultrasonics, so I know some stuff about sound.
There's another one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over there.
And then also one on the hallway.
In the hallway.
And this is, you calling
This
this
is
the,
multi-purpose room, and that's the prayer hall. Like I said,
I'm not even hearing these guys. Could you speak some more for me, please?
Sure. What do you want to hear about?
testing.
Testing, sure, testing. This is what it sounds like right now. Not everybody keeps the mic this close. Sometimes it's probably more like this. Sometimes,
I'm not hearing.
no. It's different depending on who's talking. So,
4 speakers here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Okay, all right.
Keep testing.
I'll just start reading this sheet, man.
There you go.
So, flexible and easy to operate and maintain audio-visual system that will mostly be used for in-person services, but occasionally for virtual events and activities. Speakers with adjustable volumes that are loud enough to block any side conversations from interfering with holiday sermons when we have our highest attendance. a main pulpit noise canceling microphone, as well as 3 wireless microphones to be used in different parts of the facility.
This is multi-purpose, what are you calling this room?
That's sanitary.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Alright. This system is 9 years old, and we want an easy to operate and maintain new system. You guys want to keep talking?
Yes.
Sure, okay. The sound system needs to cover the main prayer area, the multi-purpose area, the classrooms, the library, the office hallway, the ladies'
I can
lounge,
hear a little bit coming out of the
and outdoor speakers. The system needs to be able to adjust the volumes for different portions of the building. We want a locking system to turn on and off the outdoor speakers. We want to utilize the equipment that we have in a way that will not affect the warranty or the sound quality, unless it makes it sound better. The system is for sound, not for music, in or outside of the building. Needs to have the capability to be used and integrated with online lectures. The electrical system related to the sound system needs to be tested to make sure the power supply is adequate.
The sound control here is where yeah, the sound control, you mean in the...
Because in there's a volume control, he turned that up.
Is the volume here?
Did that help?
Yeah, come in here, open here, keep talking.
Okay. Well, I'm reaching the end of my script. You guys are going to start to hear the same stuff.
You can start over.
Right, flexible and easy to operate and maintain audio-visual system. It will mostly be used for in-person services, but occasionally for virtual events and activities. Speakers with adjustable volumes that are loud enough to block any side conversations from interfering with holiday sermons when we have our highest attendance. The main pulpit noise canceling microphone, as well as 3 wireless microphones to be used in different parts of the facility. This system is over 9 years old. We'd like a new system that's easy to operate and maintain, with a minimum 1-year warranty. The sound system needs to cover the main prayer area, the multi-purpose area, the classrooms, the library, the office hallways, the ladies' lounge, and outdoor speakers. The system needs to have local volume control adjustments so we can control the different parts of the building separately. We need a system in the office to be able to turn on and off the outdoor speakers. We want to utilize all available equipment in the condition so that it will not affect the warranty or the sound quality in a negative manner. The system will be used primarily for sound. We do not use music as part of the service, inside or outside. The sound system has to have the capability to be used for online lectures. The electrical system related to the sound system needs to be tested to make sure that it meets all power supply requirements. And we want qualified, experienced people to do the job, to provide the new sound system. That's what we're doing.
We're way back here now.
Well, I guess I should just keep going. All right, 3rd time. All right, we want a flexible, easy to operate and maintain audio-visual system. Hope this isn't getting too annoying. They'll mostly be used for in-person services, but occasionally for virtual events and activities. The speakers should have adjustable volumes that are loud enough to block any side conversations from interfering with holiday sermons when we have our highest attendance. The main pulpit noise-canceling microphone as well as 3 wireless microphones to be used in different parts of the facility. Video that can be used to live stream sermon, not for this part. The system is 9 years old. The new system needs to be easy to maintain and operate. A minimum of 1-year warranty is needed. Sound systems to cover the main prayer area, the multi-purpose area, the classrooms, the library, the office hallways, the ladies' lounge, and outdoor speakers. The system has to have local volume control adjustments so that we can control the volume in different portions of the building. A locking system in the office to turn on and off the outdoor speakers. We need to utilize the equipment that we have so that will not affect the warranties or adversely affect the sound quality. System will be used mainly for sound. We don't care about music. Sound system needs to be usable for online lectures, so we can integrate that. We're going to use Zoom or something like that.
Okay.
You sick of it?
Okay. Thank you. God bless you.
This part right here, many times kids from here with other adults, very difficult to hear.
Yeah. Next week. You know, the system where we keep talking to the system, the sound is loud so that when we don't feel comfortable talking. Sure.
2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 3. 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 3.
Where is there should be a rack or something somewhere that's got power amps.
It's right here, Doug.
No, Steve's got it, okay. Good.
Well, why that? He's the one who complained.
It's all over there.
Okay.
They've got a Zone Pro in there. And a 4-channel power amp. And we're not using one of the channels, looks like.
Now, we could, if this is not a good place for it, we could have it over here. The same, setup, we can have it in here by putting like a bench
Okay.
and
Okay.
drawers just like that,
Right.
and people can sit on it, and it would look like those benches over there.
Okay.
We can just put it here.
Right.
if necessary.
I think we'll probably just leave it right where it's at.
Okay.
And sometimes also we have children playing here, they may be playing with the switch. I don't know if you have a system.
We can put the switch up
Oh,
higher.
thank you.
Right?
Yeah, well, there's a key to turn it on and off. Yeah, children can come and just turn it on and off. Now, if you take the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hide it somewhere.
Oh, yeah, or put a box.
Then we
in.
lose it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's chained on there. Yeah.
And we got kids, some of them don't speak English, so we
Right.
have an issue with them. We have to find their parents, talk to them. It's a challenge. We have about 33 different nationalities and cultures.
Wow. Yeah.
And you have every language you can imagine.
Yeah, it's like the UN.
Now, all the kids love the mics.
That's their favorite game.
So the wirelesses that are in here, you handheld in a lavalier, you just use in this room now?
Or there. We
Okay.
use the wireless, that little, let me bring it to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in case where the speaker will be at a distance that the wire mic will not reach, we'll use that. But we haven't been using it for almost more than 2 years.
Okay.
It has been broken. Let's sneak into it right quick.
Yep. Yep. So I wonder why they've got a Shure mixer and a Allen and Heath mixer.
I had to take a guess, it's because it's been put together by people who have come and gone over years. But if a student's involved in putting it together, they don't stay there forever.
We use this during Sunday school in the multi-purpose room. We use this in the multi-purpose room.
Okay.
It works.
It hasn't been working for us.
Oh, is that right? Okay, all right. Last time, yeah.
Yeah,
Last
it will
time-
work a little bit, but the sun will be cutting.
Okay, we let them know. Okay.
If it hasn't been used in 2 years, we definitely have to get some batteries and put in it.
Well, it sounds like it works right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
Does it, you say the sound cuts out after?
Yeah. So, last time I've been using it was the class of also for last year. So when I use it, it will work fine, and then it will not. It just cuts out.
How long does it take before it cuts out?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it is.
Is it the same kind of random?
Power or?
No, it's not power. Because change
the frequency, it won't connect to that because it's underneath there.
Then this one, you use this.
Yeah, same thing for this too.
Same thing with this one.
Yeah, but I don't know if the device themselves or it's coming from the box. I don't know. That might be an antenna issue. You'll get into that, we may put a separate microphone in that area. Because that you're not going to be able to walk all over the building with those, so they won't connect. Yeah, it's just not, especially if you got a bunch of folks in here with their cell phones. Oh, okay. So you will have to have an antenna there or just
Receivers around them?
yeah, and microphones for those.
Okay, so this is hardwired,
Yeah, they got those wide in.
and this is hardwired.
Right. Which that's not really the way to do that either.
Yeah, so you can hear that as smooth wires. It's a lot of annoyance
Yeah.
just as the wires adjust.
Yeah, and this is mostly used for during the prayer service because the prayer leader will have to move sometimes. Right. Well, no matter what, I mean, if you're moving around and that thing's going to rub, you're going to hear it. I mean, there's no getting around that.
And they're both going to the same channel.
Right. And that's not the ideal setup there because you can't individually adjust them. So,
They're never really used simultaneously. It's usually just personal preference. Somebody uses one or the other.
right, and which is fine, except combining them into a channel like that, you can't, without physically, you can
Right.
dial one better, it sounds better than the other microphone.
Yeah.
And we're talking totally different styles of microphones. And I would always try to avoid this one. Yeah, you would need,
Testing 1, 2, mic check. Test 1, 2.
I'm seeing things clipping and I can hear it clipping.
What's
I
that?
can see things clipping in the amps.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check.
It's hitting the red lights already in the amplifier.
Okay, well, I'm kind of talking loud, isn't it?
Well, but it's not that loud out here.
Right, yeah. Something's choking it off somewhere.